Hi folks, welcome to 43 degrees. It is Thursday. This one says 41.9, so 42 degrees. It's about 4 o'clock and it is 11:20. Sun's not on the battery, so I doubt they're charged, and I'm not disappointed. And it is about 5 degrees Celsius. Welcome to Thursday. So I worked last night, did a quick 12, and it was pesty. A lot of phone calls, a lot of stupidity. This is one of those 2 batteries I bought for the quad, and I just throw my charger on there to peak them up. So I peaked up the other one and put it in, and I put an air filter on this thing, though it is a little loose, to be honest with you. So you can see the air filter on the end of the carburetor there. I think you can see the back of it. Unfortunately, this thing is dripping, and I changed the hoses and all. I'm not quite sure why it's dripping. I put a fuel filter in it, but seems like she's about seems like it's ready to go. It's got see the tail lights lit up, the headlight, got a little ride. Oh God, this is going to be interesting. Get my glove off so I can quasi hang on to the camera. See how we can do. So let's take a quick ride around the board. Sorry if this is bumpy. My GoPro. Don't have a GoPro. So this is Harvey one-handed driving. We'll try not to get run down by the piano students pulling up. So I'm basically in first. We'll take a little ride around back too. My buddy Chuck is in here, so he's not deer hunting. So onto the driveway. This is my front pasture. People who had this property before I did had horses. I hope this isn't crazy bumpy. We'll slow down a little. There you go. So this is the very front of the property near the road. Back along the driveway, there's the house. Here we go, entering the my trail system. Generally speaking, the biggest animal I have back here are deer. The next biggest are coyotes. Occasionally a bear wanders through. Occasionally a moose will make it down here into the county. I see deer frequently. I hear coyote all the time. The only time I see coyote is when they mess with my buddy and he whacks one of them, and then he'll, you know, tell me there's a dead one out behind the barn, go have a look, and I do. So I've only seen him dead. Obviously I keep this trail cut and maintained. My buddy Chuck occasionally whacks some of the taller brush so that he could get a decent shot at the deer when he's back here hunting. We haven't had much rain. I think I'm going to let's take a quick ride down here to the lower extremes of the property. You can see from the trail, this is a deer trail. They come up through here. They were going to develop this property and put in houses back here, but it turns out when they subdivided my house off, they did not leave enough road frontage, so they suddenly discovered that they couldn't subdivide. I don't know, that don't look too bad. I should be able to get through it, right? There we are, not too bad. So, off to the back. Yeah, I haven't been back here in a few months. I have a lot of ticks on this property. Sorry once again for the vibration. So I have a tendency not to go back here unless it's relatively cool. That way the ticks are a little less active. Boy, that has overgrown quite a bit. Even back here is overgrown quite a lot. This is a small little bike, only 100 cc's. So, if I'm going to be out here beating my way through brush, I should really have the 300 4x4. Not too bad for driving like the one-handed man. This camera, that stream crossing I did, this camera actually fell into the water there. I did manage to dry it out. I basically sat it on the pellet stove with all the compartments opened, and it took like 3 days. Here we are. So the stream crossing isn't that bad. You can see I'm obviously going west into the sunset. Hopefully you're not just looking at sunshine. In a second it'll be low over the horizon. You should be able to see better. So just give me that second. So this is kind of the first Shakeout ride since I got it started on this new carburetor and put the new battery in it. So if there's anything loose, I'll discover it. The battery I put in there dimensionally is a little shorter than the last battery. The last battery was a 5 amp hour. This is only a 4. So I am going to have to put kind of a wooden block under it or something to kind of raise it up. Right now it's kind of hanging on the wires a little bit. That's not a condition I want to leave it in. My only concern from this on this bike is that it's dripping gas. I don't like bikes that drip gas for several reasons. Environmentally, it's not a good idea to dump gasoline on the ground, obviously. It's also not smart to drip gas around the garage because one could blow themselves up or burn the garage down. And lastly, I just don't think it's like the smell of getting gas on me and getting gas on the bike. I'm only in second. This thing winds up pretty good. It's actually a pretty fast bike. It's got a pretty decent gear ratio, like this is first. And you can hear I'm not going all that fast. It's got plenty of torque and so forth. So there we are. Put it away. So we're up to about 12 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed the ride. I'm going to turn the gas off. Not that it matters much because it's dripping. But there we are. I think the air filter stayed on. I didn't hear it fall off though. Not that I would exactly hear it. Let's see. Yeah, the air filter's on. It's on kind of tight enough to be sealed, but it's not really snug enough to hang on there. Like if you reach underneath, you can give it a couple of wiggles and pull it off. So I got to work on that a little bit more. So today's Thursday, and obviously I'm off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and I have to go in Wednesday night and Thursday night, so I have to work Thanksgiving Eve and Thanksgiving Day, and that's kind of why I'm off today. I have days I have to burn, or I'm going to go into the end of the year with extra days, and my boss says we can't carry any across the line. We can't carry any vacation days into next year. Not that I necessarily want to. But normally I try to be more careful and burn my vacation time in the summer. Actually, I kind of expected to be off these days for Thanksgiving, and that would have done a better job burning my vacation time. I'm just going to put that frying pan underneath there. Right, because we don't want gas dripping on the ground. It's outside, so it really shouldn't get into any trouble. It's turned off. It's a new car, but I don't think the float's going to bypass and leak into the engine. But I did turn off the gas. So a couple of things. I've mentioned it before. You guys are familiar. I watch William Statton's videos, and he's got himself a UTV frame. I forgot which one it is. Anyway, he's talking about hacking basically a tractor rear end into it. It's a Yamaha something. Anyway, yeah, I know I'm senile. Some people say not that smart, but such is life. This is the rear end out of a Yamaha. And the way they do it, as you could see, it's bolted to the frame, so it pivots. Here are the shocks. Those are the front end components. Here are the shocks. Right, the engine sits here. And the belt drive, centrifugal clutch, forward and reverse. So this is the rear end out of a golf cart with forward and reverse. My plans and I'm just about getting there. I have to work on the hoops to get them ready for winter, but after I do that, I'm going to take this rear end and get that tractor off the trailer, put the rear end on the trailer, and one of these two golf carts. What I'm gonna also do is probably slide this rear end, if it's this one or that one, doesn't matter. I'm gonna slide the rear end backwards a bit, try to have the engine rear end low, make it a little higher for kind of a bed on the back of it, right? Seat. I don't know if I'm gonna put the roll bar and cage on it, kind of as time allows. This one is a bit dented in. I actually have to jack them up and see what the frames look like. This white one, before I got it, I was told when it had batteries in it, it actually worked. The batteries had died, so they pulled the batteries out, and that's why it was sold off. I probably told you guys the story on this. These golf carts, there used to be a golf course on the Palisades, just before you get to New York City. There along the Hudson, you got the Palisades, these long cliffs, and there's a golf course over there. These two and a bunch of the other golf carts got there. Somebody bought them at auction, bought, I don't know, 20, 30, 50 golf carts, whatever it was. It was probably 20. And I ended up with like 8 of them. A bunch of the others were put together and sold off. I just kind of ended up with the scraps. I didn't pay much for all of it, but there we are. I'm always walking around seeing what space I have and where I could put a few things away, right, so they don't go completely nasty on me. I would like to get the Kawasaki 200 under some kind of cover. These two hoop buildings, these are 8 by 12, and they really held up the best out of all of them. If you go longer than 12, it appears as if the hoops bend down. If you go wider than 8, because as you're narrow, right, the thing is taller and the snow comes off better. As you go wider, it has a tendency to flatten out, which allows the toe to snow to smash them down a little more. It looks like the combination, quite honestly, if you want to put up hoop buildings and you don't want to put any support in the center, it looks like the combination of hoops and pipes really work the best. The hoops kind of hold the pipes into place. The pipes by themselves are flimsy and move around, and if they move to the right place, snow builds up and knocks them down. Where the hoops will keep the pipes in place, make them a little more rigid. So I think the combo of hoops and pipes for these buildings really the best. You got to kind of try things to see if they're going to work or not. It's very easy to say, oh, well, I built all these cattle panel buildings in Texas, and look, they held up great. Well, you don't have the snow load that I had last year here in Texas that I had last year in the Hudson Valley. We had at one point a couple of feet of wet snow, and that just played havoc with all these things. If I had my normal, 6-inch snowstorms, with a lot of wind, it would have kept blowing them clear, and I wouldn't have had the collapse problems I had. This building is, I went as wide as I could, so it's about 9 foot wide, and it's 16 foot long, and it was just destroyed. You could see it was just too flat and too long, and it just got crushed like a bug, right? Once again, it's a matter of learning about these things. Tarps. These are these 5 mil tarps, Harbor Freight. 5 mils really is not enough. I got some the newer tarp. I think that's going to go on this. I'm just going to put it on top of the old tarp, double duty. But I think the newer tarp is 7 or 9 mil. 2 mil, is it that much? Well, could be the difference between a leak and not. Yeah, I got a whole hoard of tarps here. My problem is I'm buying these stupid tarps. I can't seem to find one. 8x12s are not that bad because an 8x12 means your cattle panel is actually 16 over the top and 12 foot long. So an 8x12 is actually, you need a tarp somewhere at 16 by 12, and you could kind of find something that almost fits that. This here 16 by 16, if you find a tarp for it, and you will, it's just a matter of how much money do you want to spend, right? That's where you get into trouble with this guy. I'm up to 21 minutes. I'm gonna go. Folks, thanks for watching and commenting and subscribing. Remember, keep your feet down, keep your head up, and enjoy all your days. Don't let people tell you what you have to do and don't have to do. You know, I mean, do what you think is right and enjoy your time. It's your time. It was given to you. Enjoy it. Take care, folks. Bye now.